Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this live stream. I am here today to talk about some of the challenges that have been happening in Ghana when it comes to the power situation. Now, a lot of people who are living in Ghana or maybe visiting Ghana may have experienced this. What's been happening is there have been rolling blackouts, rolling power outages, unexpected power cuts, and there's no rhyme or reason that people are experiencing it. Some people are blaming powers that be, and some people are making it very political. But the way that I see it, it is a very deeply rooted infrastructural issue because no matter who's in power, this has been a problem in Ghana for a long time, but now it seems to be getting worse. Thank you so much, everyone who has joined this live stream today. My name is Ivy Prosper. I tell stories from Africa and the African diaspora. And today I'm talking about the power outages that have been happening in Ghana. And it's been really bad the last few weeks, and it's affecting people's business, their lifestyle, it's affecting school, it's affecting healthcare. So many different things are happening for people. If you are on the live stream, please let me know where you are watching me from. I am currently in Ghana. It is about 9:06 p.m. Ghana time. So let me know where you are in the world, where you're joining me on this live stream today. As I said, I am talking about the power cuts, the power outages that have been a problem in Ghana. Let me know that you can hear me clearly. I've had to delay this live stream a couple of times because of power challenges as well. So this morning, I didn't have power. All through last night, I didn't have power. On the weekend, I didn't have power, as well as water wasn't flowing as well. Some of the challenges that I've faced and that other people in Ghana are currently facing on and off. Obviously, right now, I have power. So this is a great thing. And I hope that it's something that's going to continue, because it's like you go home and you're praying you have power. The other day, I heard my neighbors saying to their kids, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I'm afraid of losing power, because they were trying to do some tasks and didn't want the power to go out before they finished. So I'm here talking about the power situation in Ghana. So thank you so much, those of you who've joined. Ronald says, I don't know why it's getting worse. A lot of people don't know why it's getting worse. We have Patricia from North Carolina. Thank you for joining, Patricia. So the power outages in Ghana, there's a term people use to describe the power outages called dumsor. Excuse me. So dumsor is a literal translation from the Tree language, dumsor. So dum meaning off and saw meaning on. So dumsor, off on. I'll put that on the screen for those of you who may not know. Dumsor is a word that people use every time there's a power outage. They say dumsor. Dumsor is back. So it actually even has its own Wikipedia page. I think it was in 2015 when it got really, really bad in Ghana with power outages. And that's when I believe the Wikipedia page was made. So let me just, I want to show you that Wikipedia page so you can see for yourself. So let me pull it up on the screen for those of you who may not know about what dumsor is. I will show you the Wikipedia page that describes the dumsor issues. Thank you, everyone who's joining. As I said when I started the live stream, if you're joining, let me know where you're joining from, where in the world you are, so that I can acknowledge you. So this is the dumsor page on Wikipedia for Ghana's dumsor, and it says in Ghana, dumsor, which is the Akan pronunciation dumsor, off on, as I said, is a persistent, irregular, and unpredictable electrical power outage, usually caused by a power supply shortage. And then, as I said, it talks about the terminology. And then the history here says Ghana's power supply became erratic in early 2001 there was reduced generation capacity due to significant drop in water levels at the Akosombo Dam. And that's the dam that is the main hydroelectric dam in Ghana that helps to power the electricity across the country. Ghanaians' generating capacity in 2015 was 400 to 600 megawatts, less than Ghana needed. Ghanaian electricity distributors regularly shed load with rolling blackouts. And in 2015, there was a schedule that went from 24 hours of light to 12 hours with, 12 hours without. So the long blackouts that happen in Ghana, this is not a new phenomenon. It's been happening for a while on and off, but it's been getting worse at this time, 2024. It's been getting worse. Kwame, thank you for joining. Thank you. I appreciate you. So today, as I said, I'm talking about the blackouts that have been happening in Ghana. Why is this happening? And is there going to be a resolution that's going to be seen? If you're in Ghana right now and you're experiencing these blackouts, the dumsor, please share your story. I would love to hear your experience. I have had power going off and on. Typically, if I have power on my street, the next street doesn't have power. If the street on that side has power, then I don't have power. And there's some certain restaurants in the area that when I get home and I hear if their generator is going, then I know that I don't have power because I'm on the same electrical phase that they are. So if they don't, then I don't. But they have generators. I don't have a generator. So if you do ever plan on coming to Ghana, moving to Ghana, it's one of the things that you have to consider. It is very challenging dealing with the power outages that are happening. But it is also something that presents a business opportunity. Morris and Claire Hyvey checking in to see if I need to import my own generator. I'll be back May 14th. Yeah, you may need a generator. A friend of mine actually just bought a generator himself because his business, he needs to be powered all the time. And the constant unpredictability of it going off and on is just really, really too challenging. It's like you're running a business and you have things to do and you can't because of the power situation. There's a shop that I often buy groceries from. They usually get deliveries of fresh groceries on a certain day. And on that particular day, they had to close early. And because they said the power went out. So then it's like they've lost business due to the power being out. Africa is Life O says, hi, Ivy. Nobody talks about the enormous loss to our country's economy, the danger of being left in the dark, not to mention the stress of not knowing when it gets cut off or when it's coming back. Yeah, it's very stressful. 2 days ago, I was talking to my friend and I was like, I need to iron all my clothes. I need to iron a bunch of clothes that I'm going to wear because I don't know when the power is going to go out, because there's been times when it goes out and then I'm like, oh man, I have to take a shower and get ready and I got to iron my clothes and I can't because there's no power. So the unpredictability is certainly difficult for your life, for trying to plan things out properly, or when you're doing business. The other thing that is a very serious issue is healthcare. If you have serious health issues, it could be a serious problem. We saw last month there were premature babies that were in incubators in one of the hospitals, and unfortunately, one of the babies died. The hospital claimed that no baby died, but then the woman whose baby died actually posted a video of her baby who died because of the power going out. There was no power source for the incubators and the oxygen and all that. So it was like a life-threatening situation. We have also Kolebu Hospital is one of Ghana's biggest hospitals for the public government hospitals. And so they unfortunately have been affected as well. Apparently they have a faulty generator. And with the power cuts, they have also been affected when it comes to taking care of patients, when it comes to surgeries. There was this story that was in City News on their website, and it actually was saying that there are surgeries being canceled. I'm sharing it on the screen right now so you can see. I'm not making this up. Surgeries canceled at Kolebu due to dumsor. This was in the paper 2 days ago. saying several critical surgeries scheduled for Monday, the 29th of April at Kolebu Teaching Hospital have been called off due to intermittent power outages. Tumor patients taken to surgical theater were returned to the wards when doctors realized the power situation was unreliable. These are critical cases, and we can't afford to risk people's lives, a doctor told City News. Like, this is a very serious situation. According to sources, the generator is also not working, leaving doctors disturbed. So that's the main thing, because if your hospital doesn't have power, they should at least have a generator that's working. But unfortunately, they don't have a generator that's working. So that is a very serious issue. Morris says, do you know about dumsor dating? Women will call around to check which one of their boyfriends have liked. What? Oh my gosh, there's comedy in every situation. I didn't know about this. This is funny. So I guess so they have somewhere to go for the night. That's funny. That is really funny. Nicholas says, I'm flying down to Ghana end of May. Not sure I can survive another dumsor. My 2016 experience was horrible. Yeah, the dumsor is getting bad, like really, really bad. What I would say is I don't know if you're a person who's simply visiting and you're staying in a hotel. If you're staying in a hotel, then you probably won't experience it, especially if you're in a 4 or 5 star hotel. You're going to have a generator. And so you won't experience the power outages so bad. But if you're staying like family or friends, or even if you're staying in an Airbnb, the Airbnb might not have a generator. So you may want to check into that to see if they have a backup power source, just in case, to look into that, to see. Yeah, that's my advice. Next comment here we have from Kimberly says, my husband said that Ghana has started selling power to Burkina Faso, Togo, and surrounding countries, which is why the national grid is overtaxed. They've been doing that for a long time. They didn't just start. It's been for a long time, actually. As far as I've known, it's been more than 10 years they've been doing that. So it's not a new thing, but they've been doing it for quite some time. And yeah, that definitely is a problem for the local citizen, because a local citizen is like, well, why is it that we can't service our own people and we're selling it to other people when some of it could be used for our own country? AP Promotion says, does dumsor mean blackout? Yeah, so I was saying in the beginning, you may have missed it when you joined, but dumsor is, and I'll put it on the screen so that people who may not know or who may have missed it when I mention it. So the word is dumsor, D-U-M-S-O-R. So literally, dumsor is a translation from the tree language. Dum means off. I'm going to put it on the screen. Dum means off, and so means on. So dum, as I said, so dumsor, off on, where dum is off, so is on. And so the word dumsor is off on. So it's like a slang translation of people saying dumsor. It's off on, off on, off on. Your lights are going off and on, off and on, off and on. And so the word has become such a it's like a core word in society that it actually has its own Wikipedia page. Dumsor has its own Wikipedia page. I showed it earlier in the live stream. If you type dumsor into Google, you will find that there's a dumsor Wikipedia page. You can check it out and see it explains dumsor in Ghana. So I hope that answers your question. Africa's Life O says, one solution, government subsidies for solar. Individuals give back excess electricity until they've paid off the subsidy. Then excess can be sold to neighboring countries. Great, great idea. Kimberly says, I don't know why the country doesn't have a national solar plant. It's a question that is often asked. Yes, it seems familiar. I don't understand. It won't translate into English. I hope you got the understanding now when I explained it to it. Explained it to you, what it means. I'm a can in America. AB Promotions, that's okay. You know the meaning now, because I just explained what dumsor means. So now you know. Now you know. So yeah, so this has been a problem. As I've been saying, I've been experiencing power outages myself, power going off unexpectedly. I'll be in the middle of doing something, and then all of a sudden the power goes out. And then I'm not able to continue. Or there was one night my power went out, my laptop was dead, the phone was almost dead. So it's like you feel like you're cut off from everything that you can possibly do because you have no power source. And then it was even worse when I had no water, because there was a day I had no water and no power. So there's water shortages happening too. So there's people also who don't have water in some places, or not, it's not flowing the way that it's supposed to be. Yeah. So I just wanted to talk about this quickly today, about this power outage situation that's been happening. There's a celebrity in Ghana. Her name is Yvonne Nelson. She's an actress and producer. And in 2015, when this power outage was having issues in Ghana as well, so 2013, 14, 15 was also a really, really bad time for these power outages. And then she was with an organization, organized a march on Flagstaff House, which is now called Jubilee House, where the president stays, the seat of the president. And so she organized this march. They went and did this march on the Flagstaff House in 2015 to protest the power cuts. Now, 2024, she's asking people to join again to do another march or some kind of vigil, something to protest the issues with the power cuts. Some of you watching may know who Yvonne Nelson is. Some of you may not, but she is a popular actress in Ghana, in West Africa. And she is trying to encourage people to join her in this particular fight against the situation with the power outages. I'm going to show on Twitter. There's a short video clip where she's talking about, I hope that you'll be able to hear it. She's talking about what she wants to do with this.
The actress made the appeal in an open letter to Ghanaians, which was tweeted on her page on X yesterday. And so Yvonne Nelson is asking for your support, the same support you gave her in 2015. She wants even more of that. Godwin, would you?
I can't believe it's been 9 years already.
It's been 9 years.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like 9 years because it feels like it just happened yesterday.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I remember it so well.
Yeah, I remember
9
too well.
good years.
I don't remember where I was, or 9 years, I don't remember. But I mean, I know that video and the faces and all of that. Would you join her? She wants your support.
Hello. Hello.
If I'm
feeling okay, I'll go.
It's not about feeling okay.
But if I'm not strong, how am I going to be?
No, wait. She's not doing it today or tomorrow. She'll do it maybe, let's say, June, July,
so
August.
Okay,
By June, you'll be fine. Would you guys support her? Because your industry is also struggling because.
So you have a good question. You had a good question there. Will marching really change anything? Good question, because they marched last time, and let's see what happens this time around. But at the same time, we always say people should exercise their democratic right to express themselves. So it doesn't hurt to try, right? It doesn't hurt to try. It really doesn't hurt to try. It really doesn't hurt to try. So I'm going to read. There was a story that was in a newspaper out of Europe that was talking about the power outages happening in Ghana. And according to their story, they're saying that the local electricity, ECG is the local electricity company of Ghana, ECG. So they're saying that there's overloaded transformers, and that's what's causing the instability of the power. And so they're saying that people owe money. So let me just read the story so I get you accurate information. I try not to misinform. So I'd like to give accuracy and information. So let me share this on the screen as well so that I give you accurate Okay, so the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, the state power company, owes more than $1.7 billion to suppliers. And the sum of unpaid bills has become so vast that power suppliers have often refused to continue providing electricity. The Ghanaian parliament is among those in arrears. In March, it had plunged into darkness over the debt of $1.8 million, according to ECG. So, what we're discovering is that there are people who owe money to ECG, companies who owe money to ECG. According to reports, the government owning money to ECG. And so they're saying because of money being owed to them, they're in short supply and it's causing a strain on their system, according to them. So we've heard stories here in Ghana about companies that get completely put into darkness because they haven't paid their bill. And so they come and shut them off. They owe millions and then they shut them off. So we've been hearing these stories about this happening with a lot of businesses and it being part of the problem with this load shedding is what I've been hearing about. So in Ghana, when it comes to power, the regular consumer, like myself, when we pay for our electricity, we pay in advance. So there's the ways that you can pay in advance is you can go to the ECG offices and pay for electricity in advance, or you can pay through the app, or you can pay through mobile money, or you can go through one of the local vendors. So basically, for example, you would go there and say you want to pay 200 Ghana cedis. So you put 200 Ghana cedis down, and then it gives you a certain amount of wattage that you use in your home. Once that wattage is finished, your power goes out. Then you have to go back and load it again. So the key is to always keep loading it so your power doesn't go off. So that's prepaid. The majority of consumers have to use prepaid systems. But businesses and large corporations and the government are allowed to do postpaid, where they receive a bill and they're supposed to pay later. So what ECG is saying is that people who are doing the companies and corporations and stuff that are supposed to be doing the postpaid system, they are saying that there's a lot of them who are not paying their bill and it's accumulated to the point where there's an excessive amount of money in arrears. That's one of the issues that they are saying is a problem. So that is what they're saying is a problem. But the average consumer is saying, why should they have to deal with that? Because you're going and paying your electricity regularly to get your electricity. So why should you have to suffer because someone else hasn't paid their bill, is what some people are saying. Kimberly says, is there any talk about how this will affect the presidential campaign? Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, people say that it's going to affect the election. Some people think that it's happening because of the election. Some people believe that it's being intentionally done because one person wants it to sway their way or the other. So it definitely is something that can affect the election, the upcoming election. AB Promotion says people owe money. How? I think I explained how. Like people are just not paying. It's crazy. Prepayment for electric is crazy. Yeah, man. I had to get used to it because I was used to being in Canada, and even in the 2007, 2008 when I lived in the US, I got used to like you just pay your bill afterwards. You use your electricity, you get your bill, it shows how much you use, and then you pay. But here it's like consumers do prepayment, so you have to like guess how much you think you're going to use in the next month, and then go and make the payment, and then it's loaded up. It used to be they give you a card that you would slot into the actual box, the meter at the back of your house. But now you just do it through the app, and then there's a code that you can type in. But sometimes when you do it through the app, it automatically just loads and you don't need to even type in any kind of code. Why isn't electricity nationalized? Black Africa is just a big version of Black America. I mean, it is nationalized, I guess, because it's ECG is the electric company of Ghana. It's a national company. Yeah, if that's what you mean. Kimberly says, I think that NDC and Mahama would try to use this to attack Addo, although I heard that the situation was worse when he was president. Yeah, people keep talking about that, keep saying that it was like some people will blame Akufo-Addo. They'll say it's Akufo-Addo, and I can personally attest that it was just as bad, if not worse, during the Mahama time. Yeah. So I don't attribute it to any particular government, like some people like to do. Some people like to always blame a particular government. I personally attribute it to it's a deeply embedded problem, regardless of government, of which government. So I don't side with one government or the other. I say that it's just a deeply embedded problem. It's funny because you bring that up. It reminds me of an experience I had in Ghana. I'm going to share a video clip. Of an experience I had with electricity. This video is from 2013. I had traveled out of Ghana. So I was living in Ghana 2011 to 2013, and I had traveled out of Ghana for a couple of weeks because I was doing public speaking at the time. So I had traveled for a couple of weeks, then came back. So this is when I came back and had been back for a few weeks. And then I talk about what I was experiencing with the power in Ghana. So let me just open up that video. So the power is out again. The power is out again. I have been in Ghana 5 weeks, and the power has been out 27 times. 27 times, okay? So you have seen that I videoed the generator for a brief moment. That is the sound that you hear when people's power is out on a regular basis. And people say I should be happy because Nigeria is worse. Because apparently in Nigeria, everybody has a generator. In Ghana, not everybody has one, but you see here, the business next door has a generator, and fuel is very expensive. I've created a Facebook page called The People of Ghana Against ECG. But I haven't gotten that many likes, and I don't understand why people don't take it very seriously. The power problem is serious. I'm frustrated. 5 weeks, 27 times, the light has been out more than it's been on. Anyway, I hope that one day this changes, or that they implement solar power. Today is 94 degrees Fahrenheit. It's so hot. The sun is shining. Okay, you get the drift. The power went out 27 times in 5 weeks. That was Mahama era. So I don't attribute anything to say that it's Akufo-Addo or anything. I just say it is a deeply embedded problem, period. So, yeah. Let's see who else. Let's go to the comments. Clifton Dawkins says, please fix this before I forward home. If you're prepaid your bill, how is business not paying your problem? Yeah, people are upset. Does the president lose electricity? Probably not. I don't see the leader of the country being cut from electricity. Why doesn't Ghana invest in renewable energy? Great question. I think that these problems is an opportunity for business ideas. So like the obvious one is solar power. Solar energy is something that if the sun is always out in Ghana, even during rainy season, the sun comes out and it's like, it'll rain and then it's boiling hot and the sun comes back out. So solar energy is the obvious one. I do know that one of the problems that people say with solar energy is the fact that it's very expensive, capital intensive to actually get started. So getting started in the initial investment is what makes it difficult for people to actually get into solar. But once you're able to invest in it, long term, it is a really good investment because the sun is always out in Ghana. It's always out. The other business that's growing, business opportunity, so I'm talking about business opportunities now as a result of this power situation, is selling battery-powered fans, cooling units, flashlights. Those types of things have grown. So, for example, there's this standing fan that is battery-powered and solar-powered that a friend of mine had shared with me to say, hey, I know someone selling this. You might want it in case your power goes out. You always have a fan to at least have on so that you don't suffer through the night with the heat. Then I was like, oh, how much is it? And she was like, it's 850 cities. And I hesitated. I was like, you know what? Let me wait. And I hesitated. Then I was like, you know what? Actually, I do want it because it's just too unbearable when it's hot. But by the time I got back to her, it was sold out. Now, people are selling the same thing that was 850 Ghana cities, which is, I mean, for those of you who may be watching from the US, it's less than $100. It's probably like maybe $70 US. It's now selling for 2,200 Ghana cities. So with the price, going up, it's because of the high demand, yeah. Let me go to the comments. Kimberly says, wow, you have not aged a bit since 2011. Yeah, thank you. That's what people tell me. Thank you. Yeah, so renewable energy. So solar, I was saying solar, and then battery powered stuff, solar powered fans. Because of the demand now, the price is really going high. The other thing that is a good business thing to get into, or if you're traveling to Ghana, to consider bringing battery packs for laptops, for phones, power banks. Those kinds of things are great business opportunities as well, because people want to keep their devices charged when the power goes out. So if they're able to have things charged, especially a power bank that lasts a long time, then that's an awesome thing. Or solar powered power banks. I have a solar power bank, but it powers very slowly though. But it does work. I left it out in the sun once when I couldn't plug it in somewhere, and it actually worked. It worked really well. So that's a good thing. And then also a business idea that I thought about the other day. I was like, oh, what about cooling stations? When I was living in Canada, when we would have these heat waves in the summertime, there were places that they would say these are cooling stations. You can go and cool down if you don't have air conditioning in your place. And I feel like that's something that could be done here. Like there could be cooling stations, like a cafe that's it's a cooling station, and you pay to go in, of course. And you can sit in there for whatever amount of time you've paid to go in, like a cover charge, and you just chill, relax, stay cool, and you have electricity to use. I feel like that would be a good idea. 24-hour internet cafes, maybe on a subscription-based service or something, because people would love to always have access when they are not able to access at home because their power's gone out, And I mean, once this situation gets resolved and things get better, maybe those business ideas might seem like they're not a good idea, but I feel like they still would be good, because we do still have issues in Ghana and across Africa where there's instability with electricity sometimes. So it's a good idea to try some of these things. I think some of these are opportunities. And then wind energy. The wind doesn't blow very much in Ghana though. So I had talked to somebody about this and we were having a conversation. I was like, how would wind energy really be effective? Because we don't have a lot of wind blowing, like strong forces and stuff. But he was saying in the northern region where there's more, there's more arable land, like there's more plains, there's not so many buildings that would be obstructing any breeze that's going through, that area is an area that they've actually looked into doing wind power in the northern parts of Ghana. So that's something also to think about. Okay, let's see the comments. Imagine if parts of the Sahara Desert had solar farm to power the whole of Africa. Wow, that's a genius idea. That's genius. Genius. Supply and demand. Yeah, supply and demand on the fans that I was talking about. Yeah. Cooling station's a good idea. Yeah. Somebody can do it. I mean, I've said it. Now somebody can try and do it. If you have the capital to do it, then you just charge people a fee and they go and they enjoy themselves. Chilling. My mom is from the north. Oh, that's nice. Which part of the north? I've been to the north many times. The north is hot. The north is very hot. I thought Ghana provided energy to other countries. Mali, yes. Ghana sells energy to other countries. Burkina Faso, Togo, and Benin, I believe, are the countries that Ghana sells energy to. Bolga, I like Bolgatanga. Very peaceful, calm, and serene. I was there last year in, I think, July. I was there in July. Using power harness from the dam. That's what they're using already. The Volta Dam. Akosombo Dam. Akosombo Dam is what they use to power Ghana right now. So I called it the Volta Dam because that's also another name that it's known by. So let me just open up the screen because I like screen sharing to show you information, to show you about the Akosombo Dam. For those of you who may not know, this was actually done by Kwame Kuma, the first president of Ghana. So the Akosombo Dam, known as the Volta Dam, which is what I said, is a hydroelectric dam on the Volta River in the southeastern part of Ghana, in the Akosombo Gorge, and part of the Volta River Authority. The construction of the dam flooded part of the Volta River Basin and led to the subsequent creation of Lake Volta, and Lake Volta is the largest man-made lake in the world by surface area. So the Akosombo Dam provides electricity. The primary purpose was to provide electricity for the aluminum industry initially, and it's known as one of the largest investments to economic development in Ghana during the days that it was made. So the dam is also, here's where it says it. The dam is significant for also providing the majority of both Togo and Benin's electricity. Both Togo and Benin's electricity are also powered by Ghana's Akosombo Dam. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope that gave you a little bit of knowledge. Jones says there was extra power generated during the previous governments as a result of dumsor. When the current government came into power, they cut off that extra power, claiming it's not been used and it's a waste. Really? I didn't hear about this. I did not hear about this. Thank you for sharing. I will have to investigate. I didn't know about that. Are there still free land in Ghana? Are you talking about the Asebu land? Are you talking about the Asebu land that that particular chief was giving out? Don't mind me. I'm eating. I haven't had dinner. I almost canceled this live. I am hungry. So I'm eating avocado and pineapple. Land in Ghana. Asebu, yes, there's still land available there for the Asebu project. So there is a fee. The fee is the administrative fee that they charge. I don't know what it is now. When I did a video, I did 2 videos there previously. And the videos I did there was in 2020 and 2021, I think is when I did the video. And at that time, it was $700. And then it went up to $1,000 for the admin fee. But I don't know what it is right now. I would have to look into it. But there is still land available because it was acres and acres that were there. So, yeah. Electric cars in Africa might probably make the batteries overheat and catch fire. Never thought about that before. I know somebody mentioned the electric cars, and I think you're responding to that. Jess, I believe I just answered that question for you. That yes, it's in a Cebu area. AB Promotions, love Kwame, so ahead of his time. I'm not sure which Kwame he's talking about. It's possibly he's talking about Kwame from Cebu, from the Cebu land. Yes. Do you still see Wardamaya? I haven't seen him in a while. I've talked to him. I've talked to him on the phone, but I haven't actually seen him in a while. But he's in Ghana right now. So I hope that answers your question. But I have spoken to him. Do you have contact for the Asebu? The contact is on the video that I did there. I would have to go and find it. So just give me a second. I would have to find it because I don't have it off the top of my head, but it's in the video. I'm looking for it, so bear with me. Yeah, just give me a moment. But yeah, you can still reach out to them. They do have a website, and you can also make contact with Kwame directly. I will paste this in the comments. Or should I put it on the screen? Let me put it on the screen. I'll put it on the screen for you so that you can make contact. I don't know why it's not showing up. I'm trying to get it to show up and it's not showing up. The website and the email for Kwame, who's one of the people on the team for the ASU Land, is what I'm trying to show you. And this is for, yeah, that's if you want to, that's for the regarding the land question. So this is regarding the land question that I just received about the ASU Land. You can, that's their website. And then that's the email address that you can get in contact with Kwame regarding it, if you were interested in it. And then I'm not sure if these phone numbers are still active because I've not tried it. Because as I said, I did the video back in 2020 and 2021. I've not tried the number since then, but I imagine it would still be working. Again, this number is for the ASU Land that I'm being asked about on the live. The live is not about the land. I was talking about the light situation, but the question has come up, and that's why I'm putting it on the screen for people who are interested in getting the answers to that. All right, so I hope that helps. Yeah, so let me get back to the comments section. Concrete traps here. Accra needs more trees. Yeah, traps. Yeah. This is a big problem. Too many trees are being cut down in Accra. Too many trees. I swear every day I see somewhere where there's more trees being cut. It's like the people who are working in the construction industry don't have this understanding of the value of trees. Now I have a friend who she's very much into plants and she's very much into teaching people about plant and the value of trees. And she said that she met somebody who didn't understand. And he actually was like, well, what's the point of trees? And she had to explain to him, listen, trees are life. Trees give us oxygen. Trees take out carbon dioxide. And he genuinely didn't know. And he was like, so that means we're really killing ourselves when we're cutting all these trees down. And she's like, yeah. And then now his mind has been opened and he's like, wow, he can't believe it. Now he's becoming this, he's probably going to become a person who's interested in making a change. So yeah. 12-hour days without power have been intense. Yes, it has. It has. And I've even gone more than 12. I've had like 24 and 48 hours. It's horrible. It's awful. So awful. So awful. How do you deal with it? I would go crazy. I do go crazy. It's awful. So I have those hand fans you see people with when they're at parties or whatever, and like I have one of those, and I have like a desk fan. So when it gets too hot, when the power goes out, and I have like you can't have any air conditioning or any fan or anything on when the power's out. So I have those, the handheld ones, and then I have a desk fan they're both chargeable. So those ones are the ones I end up using to try to sleep. And they're so tiny though. They're like so small, but it's all I can use when it's super hot. And the other coping mechanism when it's during normal hours, like day hours, I just go somewhere. I just leave and go somewhere where they have power. Like I'll go where I know there's a generator. I go where I know that I can get cooled down. But it's a pain. It really is a pain. No president, Kwame Kuma, was ahead of his time. Kwame Kuma was definitely ahead of his time. There's a lot of plans he had for the Ghana, or for Ghana that, he implemented that are still being used today. And then there's some things he had plans for that were never implemented, but could still really be done right now and could be done to really make a change in the country. Exodus 22 says, I heard Ghana is broke. That's what people have been saying. But I feel like a lot of countries are broke. People just don't talk about it. I think people just manage it differently. And I also think that so-called first world developed countries are given a break when they're broke versus developing countries and like African countries. So like the United States owes trillions of dollars to China, but nobody's calling them broke. But they owe trillions to China, but nobody's saying America's broke. But they'll say Africa's broke because Africa owes money, and an African country owes money to, the IMF or whatever. But the fact is, the US is also broke. A lot of countries are broke because they're borrowing money from each other and borrowing money from so many different places. It's just how it's managed. It's what makes it look more broke than someone else, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Yeah. So let me go back to this comment. We need more trees, white roofs, and roads, solar powered, everything. I agree with you 100%. Also, buildings need to be more eco-friendly, less concrete bricks, and more natural resources. Yeah, I think that more homes should start using the mud technology that is used in the old homes, like in the northern parts of Africa, northern parts of Ghana, I mean. They have these mud homes, and that technology actually helps to keep the home cooler than the concrete that they use in a lot of these properties. And I read a story about somewhere in Europe that used that mud technology to make a building. And it's like, we should be doing that in the continent. Why did someone in Europe go and do it? It should be done here. And it definitely would make it better because then you're not spending as much on cooling your property with air conditioning, because the natural cooling nature of the mud mixture to make the home. Yeah. There is land available, FYI, Hohoi, OT region, for only $400 per plot. And where did you get this information? I would like to know where this information came from. I always like accuracy of information because lots of people, the land is like the most litigated thing in this country. There's over 80% of the court cases in Ghana are land court cases. 80% of court cases in the country are land litigation. So it's always best to check everything. Check everything. Nana Oben, hi. Nice to see you. I appreciated you on my last live. You were so great to be on that last live. I did a live talking about Thailand and about being Black in Thailand, and you were there. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Okay, more comments. We got lots of comments today. Has the Back to Africa movement died out in Ghana after the year of return back in 2019? Some of the African diaspora are used to living a Western lifestyle. The Back to Africa movement has not died out. It has not died out. As a matter of fact, more people came to Ghana in 2023. I believe it was more than and there was more spent in 2023 than there was in 2019. So there. I mean, we hear stories about people who've come to live and then they leave. It's like the breaking point is 2 years of people coming and then realizing that they can't do it, and then they go back. So that is a natural thing that's happened, that there are people who do that, but there's a lot of people who actually stay. So the movement has not, it's not died out. It has not died out at all. It's not died out. There's still people who want to come. There's still people every day who are, making the move, or who are investing or just traveling. So it definitely is, it's not dead. I hate that you cannot keep the windows open at night because of the mosquitoes. Yeah, that's an issue too. So it's like when it's hot and you want to open the windows, you got to worry about the mosquitoes. You got to have a really good mosquito nets to keep them out. Because I actually am able to open my windows. I have mosquito nets. I guess a few here and there I'm able to get through, but I'm able to open my windows because I have the proper nets. Yeah. Hi, Ivy. I live in the US and Texas has a terrible power grid. 3 years ago during winter, our power grid failed and people got high energy bills. But for many who complained, we got relief. Yeah, my sister's in Texas, so I heard the stories about what happened there. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Do you think the power outages have impacted tourism negatively? I don't think the outages have impacted tourism in that great of a way, largely because a lot of times tourists are not getting the full living in Ghana experience. So people who live here are the ones who really feel the power outages the most. People who are on vacation as tourists, because they're staying usually in hotels or going to restaurants and stuff, they're going places that typically will have like generators, and so they don't experience it in the same way that someone living in Ghana does. Also, they may have a few inconveniences here and there, but overall it's not as bad as somebody who's actually living in the country, because now you're actually like having the lived experience. It may, if it continues, because people may decide they don't want to come because they may fear coming and having a bad experience. So that's a possibility if it continues to go on this way. But a great question. Great question. Just the other day, or was it, I think it was today. Was it today? Earlier today, the president said that the power challenges have been resolved. So, and the article was on City News today, where he says power challenges have been resolved and dumsor will not return. So we'll see. Today is the 1st of May, and all through the last couple of months, people have been having a lot of problems, especially in the last 4 weeks has been really, really bad for people. So we'll see if it actually happens. I'll show you the story where the president said that power is resolved. This is the story. He says the power challenges are resolved. And this was in City News. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has announced that the recent erratic power supply plaguing the country has been effectively addressed. Addressing attendees at the annual May Day celebration in Accra, the president expressed optimism that the challenges famously termed dumsor are now a thing of the past. He extended gratitude to the citizens for their patience and cooperation during these trying times. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to Ghanaians for their patience and understanding during recent temporary challenges with electricity supply across the country. Over the period, the issues surrounding transformers and gas have been successfully resolved, resulting in sufficient improvement in power supply reliability, the president said. Indeed, over the past few days, we have witnessed stable electricity supply across the country with no load shedding reported anywhere yesterday. That I have to disagree with because I had no power yesterday. For the past 7 years, we have worked tirelessly to keep the lights on, and I'm confident that the unfortunate era of dumsor will not return, he said. So that is the president's statement. Now, the last part where he said there was nothing, I had no power. I slept in the heat. I had no power. So, yeah, anyway. Yeah, okay. So Nana Oben says, I have friends, husband and wife, who have relocated to Ghana from Melbourne. They are so happy to have left Australia, though it's only been 2 weeks. They're committed to Ghana. Oh, congratulations to them. I hope that they have a positive and a peaceful transition to Ghana, because it does have its challenges and its headaches, but there's definitely a sense of peace and serenity as well. So I hope that everything goes well for them. Sia says every country will have their issues. See what happened in Dubai with the flooding. That flooding was mad. Oh, whew. Who else saw the flooding in Dubai? The flooding in Dubai was, it looked like apocalyptic movie something. Like, wow. Wow. AB Promotion says he must have paid his bill. I guess you were talking about the president. He must have paid his bill. So that is the conversation today about the power supply going out, electricity, erratic of electricity, on and off, dumsor, and how we can leverage this to actually have business opportunities to make a change, opportunities to supply and demand, provide things for people who that they may need. I need that battery-powered, solar-powered standing fan, and I waited too long, and now the price is more than doubled. So that's an example of some of the things you can do. Thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate you, Nana Oben. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's definitely an opportunity for business. I think the cooling station is a really good one. And I think that the cooling station could even work when this is actually resolved, when or if this actually gets resolved, because even when we have stable power, there are people who may not have air conditioning in their homes. There are people who may feel like they want to go and relax somewhere, and they're willing to pay. It's like going to the gym or going to the cafe, going somewhere, and then you pay like, I don't know, $10 to get in, and you sit down, relax, read your book, and then you're cool and enjoying yourself. AP Promotions, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I thank you so much. Thank you. True to his word. Yes, we hope that he stays true to his word. We really do hope the president stays true to his word. Ronald, thank you so much for hopping on. I saw your comment from the night before. I was supposed to do this live. Originally, I was going to do it on Monday. Then I think I was going to do it on Tuesday. I kept changing the date and time because of power issues. I was like, I can't do this show when I don't have power. So then I had to adjust the time. I was on my phone to try to adjust it, because I use the platform I use to do my live stream. It's better on the laptop. So I was now on my phone trying to shift the time because I was like, I don't have power at home. I can't do a live stream because I need my fiber Wi-Fi to do my live stream. If I do it from my phone, it's not always so good because in my area, the network is bad. So thank you so much. And oh, wow. Thank you, Kimberly. I really appreciate you. This means a lot. Thank you so much. I thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for joining, and for your comments and questions and everything. It always helps to make everything more rich and robust in the conversation. So thank you so much. Great topic and super informative as always. Thank you so much. You are welcome. I appreciate you. Thanks. I'll catch the beginning. Great topic. Thank you, Ronald. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so this is really, really important. I have a friend who was living in Ghana, but he's now living in the Middle East. And we chatted on WhatsApp, and he was talking a lot about business opportunities in Ghana, because he was like, he's definitely going to come back because he's out, but he's seeing some of the negative situations can positively be, turned around into business opportunities to solve some of these issues. It won't be easy. I always say trying to do things in developing countries is something where you have to be thinking you're doing this as a legacy. You're doing this to help the next generation and the generation after that. So you may not see the full project come to fruition in the way that you want it to. You'll see the beginnings, but the generation and the next generation would benefit, as long as you have the legacy plan written well. So when I say legacy plan, a lot of people in the Black community in particular, the majority of my audience are people from the diaspora. So most of you guys are Black people watching my channel. So, a lot of times Black people, we don't have legacy plans in place. So when I say that, I mean, like, in Ghana, somebody will have a business, and then when they die, their business has died and there's nobody taking it over. I was talking to a young person about this because there's a fashion brand in Ghana that was very well known, and he became international in Europe. And he died in, I think, 2014. And I believe his name, what was his name again? You see that? He was so well known. I'm forgetting his name. Ghanaian fashion designer. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so he passed away. Kofi Ansah, that was his name, Kofi Ansah. He passed away in 2014. And when he died, his business died. But yet he was a world internationally known designer. And I was like, that was an example of not having a legacy plan. Like, look, Versace, when he was murdered, his sister took over the business. Versace wouldn't be around if his sister didn't take over the business and keep it going. His sister and his brother ran the business, and it's still there today. And it's one of the most well-known brands in the world. When Louis Vuitton died, a family member took it over. Then another family member took it over, and so on and so on. 150 years later, Louis Vuitton is still a known brand. But unfortunately, in our community, we don't create these succession plans. There was this designer in the 80s, a Black designer in the US. He was one of the most renowned Black designers. He was the first Black designer to be recognized. Where was he? He was recognized somewhere in Paris, and I can't remember the name of it. And when he passed away, his whole brand died. And it's like trying to keep his legacy alive. I saw there was an exhibition in Toronto about his work. Patrick Kelly was his name. And like, he basically, like, people don't know who he is, but he was a genius of his time because there was no legacy plan. So I'm talking to our community right now. If you have a business idea, or you started a business, you're doing something, prepare in your business a legacy plan. Who's going to take over your business if something happens to you? Who's going to take it over and keep it going if something happens to you? We need to have these big brands in our community that go on for 100 years. We need that too. So yeah, I just wanted to get that off the top of my head because it's so important. Jones, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. This is so generous. Thank you. Everybody who's contributed today, thank you so much for your generosity. It means a lot. It means the world. It means a lot. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So yes, I hope that some of this has sparked something in you about creating a legacy, because we need to create legacies. We need legacies in our community, so important. Yes, she just mentioned, and recently designer Pokwa. Yes, I don't know if she had a legacy plan. Her brand had been around more than 10 years, I believe, and she's passed away suddenly. For some of you who don't know, Pokwa brand was a fashion brand in Ghana, and she passed away after giving birth, after childbirth, maternal mortality. After childbirth, she died. And unfortunately, I don't know if anybody's taken over her brand. Like, what's going to happen to her brand? She had a huge following, and, regular clients. The place where I get some of my fabric from, they supplied some of her materials too sometimes. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. Joan says, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you again. AB Promotions. Wow. Look, thank you. I don't know which one you were referring to, but thank you, everybody. This has been a really great live. This has been really good conversation. And, I'm just praying that I have light through the night. I'm like praying I have light through the night, because there's nothing worse than trying to sleep in the heat. So yeah, I've had power all day today, and I pray I have a hot power all night. And that's the thing, is now it's like we'll all be like, well, we have power, we have power, we have power. Yeah. Okay, so it is 10 p.m. and I am about to hop off the live. I had wanted to do 1 hour today. I've done just over an hour. I have some work that I need to do. I've got some reports to do. And yeah, this person said, you went back to Ghana, you're helping. Yeah, I'm in Ghana. I've been in Ghana. I've been here. I came back a long time ago. I had left to go do some health stuff in 2022, and I was gone for 4 months, and then I came back. That was 2022. So I've been here. I'm here. I am here, fulfilling a purpose of trying to change the narrative of Africa, and also making an impact, one conversation at a time with people, especially with young people. I love having conversations with young people and sharing things with them that they may not have thought about before. Because I think that the next generation is the most important when it comes to talking to them about stuff, so that their minds can be renewed, or not necessarily renewed, because sometimes they just don't even know the stuff, but so their minds can be exposed to things that they didn't know before. And I often love to do that, just have these chats with young people and talk to them about stuff. I was talking to someone at an event on the weekend about fashion, about branding in fashion, because branding in fashion is something that in Ghana, sometimes people don't really have a full understanding in. Brand names and that kind of stuff. So had a conversation about that too. So yeah. But anyway, so thank you, everybody. I really appreciate everybody being on the live today. I got to get going. I got some work to do. I have a question. Oh, there's a comment here I'm seeing. I was wrapping up, but I see a comment. Are you familiar with Nana Kwame Bediako? There's a tower building he did in 1 Oxford Street. He'll probably have a good legacy. Yes, I know who he is. Yeah, I know him. He says he's running for president. There's billboards of him all around town that he's running for president of Ghana. Most people say he won't win, but I said that I think that him throwing himself into the ring right now is probably him hinting that he wants to do this in the future. Because I feel like people try to run for president and then they try again and try again. The current president, Akufo-Addo, tried I think 3 or 4 times before he became president. So Nana Kwame Bediako has no political experience, but he's putting himself in the ring of politics. He is in real estate and business. He's an entrepreneur. So yes, I'm very familiar with him. When I first started connecting with people in Ghana 14 years ago, this was a problem. Which was the problem? Is it the health? The health? Yeah. Okay. So I was wrapping up, and then I got the extra comments that I wanted to read. So thank you again, everybody, today for jumping on the live. Okay. Ronald's talking about the lights out. Yes. Yeah. It's been a problem off and on for years. So I don't attribute it to one government. So I was saying earlier in the live that some people will say it's NPP or NDC or it's this leader or that leader. And I just look at it as it's just a deeply embedded problem, because it doesn't matter who's in leadership. It's been a problem for a long time. So yeah, definitely. Nana Kwame needs to build on his communication skills. He's not a politician. I think he's gonna learn quickly. AB Promotions, love. Thank you so much. Thanks for the love, everybody. Thanks for the love. I really appreciate you. I'm going to jump off the live now. I know I said it a few times that I was jumping off, but I'm going to jump off the live now. And I'm going to try to do live weekly. And I want to be as informative as possible. I don't want to just come and just talk fluff. I always want to try to be as informative as possible. And that's why I try to give bits of information here and there throughout the live. I hope that you don't mind when I do the sharing of information, showing you the websites and different things so that I show you that, you know, I've looked into some of the things. I don't just say things off the top of my head. I like to be as informed as possible and keep you informed as possible. So thank you so much. Take care, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you for watching.